After those three matters, the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security made a statement on the ongoing investigations in the murder of the Director General of the Independent Broadcasting Authority and updated the House on the progress made in the investigations.
And we did see quite a number of members of Parliament posing follow-up questions seeking clarity from the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security. The House did proceed to consider question for oral answer number 111, Understanding Order 82, and also question 412, Understanding Order 80.
And notice was taken at 11:03 hours that the quorum was not present in the House. Thereupon, Mr. Second Deputy Speaker ordered the bells to be rung. House counted, and the quorum having been formed, business commenced. After that, we did see Siavonga Member of Parliament, Mr. Darius Mulunda, moving a motion urging the House to adopt the report of the Committee on Local Government Accounts on the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2022 for the third session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 31st July 2024. And so this motion was seconded by Chasefu Member of Parliament, Mr. Mishek Nyambose. And with some members of Parliament debating this report, when a question was put, it was adopted.
The other report that was considered yesterday was moved by Momba Member of Parliament, Mr. Fred Jatila, who is chairperson of the Committee on Planning and Budgeting, urging the House to adopt the report of the Planning and Budgeting Committee on the 2024 Mid-Year Budget Performance Report for the third session of the 13th National Assembly. This document was laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 31st July 2024, and it was seconded by Madam Miss Brenda Nyurenda, and this report was adopted.
After consideration of those two committee reports, the House went on to consider the Kazungula Bridge Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2024, which was read the second time and committed to the committee of the whole House, and so committee stage is expected to be considered today.
All right, Matimbanda, there was also the consideration of another bill, and this is the Human Rights Commission Bill, National Assembly Bill number 8 of 2023, and this also passed all the three stages of the stages of parliamentary, and it just awaits the presidential assent.
The other bill that was considered is the Civil Aviation Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 9 of 2024, which was considered in committee. The bill was reported without amendments to be read the third time, and so it was read the third time, and this bill passed.
All right, and the Minister of Mines and Minerals Development, standing in his place, sought leave of the committee to defer the consideration of bill, and this is the Minerals Act, and it was a bill will be considered on a later date, and the House adjourned at 17:56 hours. So today, Madam Speaker is expected to take the chair at 09 hours. So basically, that's the business that was considered on the floor of the House. On the other side, we interest you to what is expected to be considered on the floor of the House today. Keep watching Parliament Television. We'll be back on the other side.
Thank you so much for still being with us on Parliament Television. We now look at business that is expected to be considered on the floor of the House today, Friday, 2nd August 2024. On the order paper, we have announcements if there will be any, urgent matters without notice if there will be any. We also have Her Honor the Vice President's question time, a segment of 45 minutes where members of Parliament ask Her Honor the Vice President questions without notice. And so in brief, that's on the floor of the House. On your screen is Madam Speaker's procession. Keep watching Parliament Television. Good morning.
Honorable members of Parliament, Madam Speaker.
Yeah. free, land of faith and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for our rights. We want freedom's fight, oh, one, strong and free. Africa is our motherland, fashioned with and blessed by those who land. Let us all have people join as one, brothers under the sun, oh, one, strong and free. One land and one nation is our cry. Dignity and peace in Zambia's sky, like a noble eagle in its flight. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free. Praise be to God, praise be, bless our great Zambia, remain with them under the flag of our land. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one, strong and free.
Prayer. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to consider with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important responsibilities in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation, in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen.
For still being with us on Parliament television. Bells are ringing, which means that the quorum hasn't constituted yet, and once the quorum is constituted, business resumes. Remember, it is a requirement that 1/3 of the total number of members of Parliament be present in the House for any business to be considered on the floor of the House. Matimba, today, very interesting day. We do have a special address to the House by His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, to address the National Assembly and the nation at large.
Yes, President, indeed. And also on the order paper, we have 2 questions for oral answer under Standing Order 82. And we have 2 committee reports. And the first one is expected to be moved by Siavonga, Member of Parliament, Mr. Dalius Mulonda, urging the House to adopt the report of the Committee on Local Government Accounts on the report of the Auditor General on the accounts of local authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2022 for the 3rd session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 1st August 2024.
And we do have 2 more reports that will be considered on the floor of the House. Earlier on, I did talk about the Burundian President addressing Parliament, and later in the day, the House is expected to consider, thanks His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye's special address that this House placed on record. It's thanks to His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, on the occasion of his special address to the House. And this motion will be moved by Her Honor the Vice President.
We also expect Sesheke, Member of Parliament, Mr. Romeo Kangumbe, to move a motion urging the House to adopt the report on energy, water development and tourism on the special audit report of the Auditor General on the procurement and management of petroleum products from 1st January 2019 to 31st December 2020 for the third session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 1st August 2024.
All the honorable members, I have a few announcements to make. The first one is, honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Uzikanji School in Chilanga District. Can you stand up if you are from Uzikanji? On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I warmly welcome our visitors in our midst. Thank you. You may take your seats. Honorable members, I wish to recognize the presence in the public gallery of pupils and teachers from Riverside Secondary School in Chikankata District, Southern Province. It appears they are not yet here. On behalf of the National Assembly of Zambia, I wish to warmly welcome our visitors in our midst as they come through, if they join us. The next announcement, honorable members, I wish to inform the House that the Ministry of Tourism, in partnership with the Zambia Parliamentary Caucus on Environment and Climate Change, ZPCECC, has organized an induction seminar for members of Parliament who were gazetted as honorary wildlife police officers, HWPOS. The seminar will take place on Saturday, 3rd August 2024, from 0830 hours to 13 hours at the Lusaka National Park in Lusaka. The seminar has been organized to train honorable members on the roles and responsibilities of HWPOS. I am reliably informed that the Ministry has organized this seminar in recognition of the critical role that you, honorable members, can play as community leaders in addressing the challenges of human-world conflict which has been affecting the country in the recent past. Therefore, all gazetted honorary members of Parliament are invited to attend the seminar. However, due to increased interest from members, the invitation is also being extended to non-gazetted members of Parliament on condition that they are gazetted soon after the seminar. A circular with names of members to attend the induction has been issued. All honorary participating in the seminar are required to be seated at the venue by 9 hours in readiness for the official opening by yours truly. I thank you. Honorable members, as the House is aware, His Excellency, Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, the President of the Republic of Burundi, will address the House later today. In addressing the House, His Excellency the President will use the French language. In this regard, arrangements have been made for simultaneous interpretation to enable honorable members to follow the proceedings in the English language. Interpretation gadgets have been placed beside the Bosch multimedia chamber system in front of each honorable member. Honorable members are advised to use channel 1 for the English language. The button for adjusting the volume is on the left side, while the button for the channel selection is on the right side of the gadget. Honorable members who may need assistance should indicate to the clerks at the table. I thank you. Her Honor the Vice President indicate when His Excellency the President of the Republic of Burundi, Mr. Evariste Ndaishimie will arrive to address the House.
Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House that His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Burundi, Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, will arrive at 10 hours to address the House.
Business will be suspended at 09:45 hours to enable and receive the President. We proceed with business on the order. Urgent matters without one now has been overtaken by events. We clear the clear so that we may honor the honorable member.
Good morning. Your Honor the Vice President, it is now public information that some ministers serving in your government are being investigated by the Anti-Corruption Commission. Your Honor the Vice President, many stakeholders have called for their names to be announced so that the country can know them. You have put your position clear that for now the names will not be mentioned. Your Honor the Vice President, I would like to find out from you what law you are using as a government not to announce the names of the ministers that are investigated, where other Zambians equally being investigated, the names do come out by the Anti-Corruption Commission. So what law is being applied to keep the names of the ministers secret while other Zambians' names are announced?
Madam Speaker, and I would like to thank the Honorable for that question. It does help, except in case that be named. That is the demand of members of the August House. Are the ministers, to start with, the only ones being investigated? I'll still repeat. I don't know which law you are using yourself, Honorable Member, because it's something here, I don't think I can cite any law, but maybe you can. I think that's where transparency, minister, so many of us under investigation. When the institution is satisfied, because The whole Bible says avoid some of the. If they are helping us, they will name us at the right time. Soon or later, we will be named and we will be prosecuted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just stop the clock for some time. Maybe I can share some experience, having been the chairperson of the Anti-Corruption Commission some time back. Investigation. And when you establish so deals with the member for Kantanshi.
Thank you very much. Some appointments of former vice presidents as a special envoy. This was to try and add some dignity to the offices of these particular individuals and probably salvage them from surviving on social cash transfer. Madam Speaker, when those appointments were made, there were concerns that were raised from other sections of society, accusing the president that he has not followed the law. And I remember the Honorable Minister of Information did actually confirm that the matter will be brought to Parliament. So I wanted to find out from our Honour the Vice President what has happened and how the issue which was supposed to be brought to Parliament to legalize it or have it supported by your members here, what has happened to that issue. I wanted to find out so that we are clear in Kantanshi as to whether the officers that. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Her Honor the Vice President.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I would like to thank the Honourable Member for Kantanshi. He has said a number of things, but again, sometimes picking everything becomes difficult for me, maybe because I'm hearing also from other ends. I thought I heard something like the President appointing former Vice Presidents and the others as special envoys, and that such appointments must come to Parliament. Is it for ratification? Or?
Maybe the Honourable Member for Kantanshi can summarize the question again. You can repeat in briefly what the question is.
Madam Speaker, the background of those appointments was assumed that they will be able to have some sort of resources that will be coming from the Treasury to support their well-being as well as supporting their offices as former vice presidents. I think that was the spirit that was behind the appointments. But then the issue was that for them to be paid any sort of emoluments or resources from government, there was supposed to be some legal backing from it. So I wanted to find out whether what has happened to that particular issue and why it has not been brought to the House so that we support it and legalize the issues that everybody was concerned about. That is the background of the issue. Thank you. Because you are supposed to be surviving on social cash transfer as former vice president. Thank you.
Her Honor the Vice President.
Surviving on social cash transfer. I should believe even you can survive on social cash transfer. Yeah, basically that's what it may imply for the politicians in this House. However, I think that the appointment is a mandate of the President to appoint, any person, not just the former vice presidents, but any Zambian to be a special envoy. And that we should not talk of legalizing. What I learn is that there is already a provision within his mandate through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. These appointments come through Foreign Affairs. So it is a legal, it's provided for legally. That is what I learn. If there is anything more I need to learn, maybe I will. But currently, this is what I know. The President is using the mandate he has to appoint by no entity. Thank you.
The Honorable Member for Chinsali.
I listened attentively to the answer that you provided to the question that was asked by Honorable Mwila. Now, you asked him that which law which law is he using to ask that the SEC should reveal the names of the senior government officials and ministers who are being investigated for corruption. Yes, there is no law that he used, but Her Honor the Vice President, on 15th March, when the President, President HH, came to Parliament to give a speech on the progress made in the application of national values and principles, President HH made an assurance that the New Dawn government will continue promoting transparency and accountability in government. He further said, in doing so, the government even enacted the Access to Information Act number 24 of 2023. Now, Her Honor the Vice President, don't you think the failure by the government and the Anti-Corruption Commission to reveal the names of the senior government officials who include these ministers who are being investigated of corruption undermines the principles of good governance and integrity? To be specific, it undermines the principles of transparency. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Her Honor the Vice President.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I would like to thank the Honorable Member for Chinsali, who has come out very strongly on the issue of naming a person being investigated. Let us say a person being investigated. Every person is protected under the law. Every person, it doesn't matter whether you are a minister, you are an MP, you are all supposed to be protected. And thank you for admitting that there is no law that compels SCC to name a person being investigated. And we have been given some historical background from the chair. It was privileged for us to get that. It is normal investigative processes, colleagues. It shouldn't be because one is a minister or because you want to catch them. No. It is the entire process that you should go through. This is not protecting anybody. But if we start just naming, today Honorable Mpundu is being investigated. Thank you for scrap metal. And honorables, and this could be genuine, that somebody has given some information about him on scrap metal. And yet there is nothing true about it. And then the investigative wings start. We are investigating Honorable Mpundu. And all of us will start looking. You know, certain things are never fully cleared. At least they should. The madam used the legal word, prima facie. Enough evidence, that is my ordinary language. They said they must find enough evidence to show that at least this is prosecutable. At least this person seems to have truly. We are not just depending on the whistleblower. We are not depending on somebody who could be a hater of Honorable Mpundu, who comes to SCC and says, this is it. Then we name. No. Yeah. We don't want courts, Honorable Chinsali. We don't want courts to go into litigations and litigations even of things that are avoidable. Transparency doesn't mean undress. Transparency means, in fact, I said this madam acted to me, who is a minister, acted in a manner that has exposed us unduly, because it's not all of us. But when you say some ministers are being investigated, the eyes don't choose, the heart doesn't choose. They'll say, it's Kapala, it's Muchima. All of us now are, which is also unfair, but that's okay. But to name what we want investigated, the names will be given at the right time, whichever process, including what we learned. Even if they don't, the president has said, go ahead, for example, in the FIC, report, investigate. Please, colleagues, this is your country. Let us do things right. It's not political and political and political. Let us catch the corrupt. Let us catch the thieves. Let us catch whoever is doing something wrong. But to do it from some other eye is not helping our country. They will. We will also insist that they tell us, because they have named us as collectively, madam. We are now named collectively. So, it's us who should even be complaining. Why have you named us? So, we are also waiting to hear the actual names. But we give them the benefit of doubt that maybe they over-generalized. Let us keep our cool. Don't get people named for suspicion. Get evidence. Thank you.
Stop the clock. I have an announcement to make. Honorable members, I wish to acquaint the House with the presence in the Speaker's Gallery of the following honorable ministers and senior government officials from the Republic of Burundi. Honorable Alberto Shingiro, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Development Cooperation. Honorable Prosper Dodiko, Minister of Environment, Agriculture and Livestock. Honorable Chantel Nijimbere, Minister of Trade, Transport and Tourism. Her Excellency representative to COMESA. Mr. Sebastian Ntahongedera, spokesperson of the President of the Republic of Burundi. Also in our midst are other senior government officials from the Republic of Burundi and staff from the Embassy of Burundi in Zambia. The honorable ministers, the ambassador, and senior government officials are part of His Excellency the President, Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of Burundi. I wish of the National Assembly of Zambia to receive our distinguished guests and warmly welcome them in our midst. You are welcome, and I thank you. You may take your seats. Thank you. Honorable member from Pika.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and good Black Friday to every members of Parliament in here. Madam Speaker, please allow me to give our Honourable Vice President an opportunity to set the record very clear on some of the issues that are in public domain. Our Honourable Vice President, a day can't go by without your government being mad with a corruption scandal. And on record is the alleged investigation of the Ministry of Defense and other army officials
21 million.
involving $21 million. The other one is the 13.5 billion kwacha in the FIC report. The other one is the 184 million kwacha at involving maize export. Conversion, is the case which was dropped involving 2 directors at a named mining company in Northwestern Province. Those 2 directors transferred $2.3 billion to Panama, and they were reported by ZCCMIH to Zambia police. But that case has been dropped, and the ZCCMIH shares in that mining company converted it into cash. The question to our Honourable Vice President, therefore, is your fight against corruption a mere witch hunt, since none or no one has been arrested in all those corruption scandals cited? Madam Speaker, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Honourable Vice President.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the Honourable Member from Pika. The Honourable Member from Pika says no day passes without the issue.
Order, Honourable Members, can we listen? May Her Honour continue.
Thank you, Madam. The Honourable Member says no day passes in the country without an issue of corruption. I will say this, Madam. that he has listed a number of things. He has referred to the minister. I don't know whether the minister or the Ministry of Defense under investigation, FRA, and then some 13 million ZCCM. The honorable member, I think, has decided to work on fabrication. These are cases that they have brought here in this house, and we have responded to. So the same 5 cases appear every day. And to the honorable member, these are new cases every day. That's the way he has interpreted, that no day passes by. But repeating the same cases does not mean that there is a case every day, honorable. These are cases we have spoken about. These are cases that are still under investigation. If the honorable member investigation is witch hunt, then I don't know. The FIC report, yes, was referred to before as witch hunt. I said it before in this house, madam, and I'm repeating it today, that this government has not called the FIC report, the Financial Intelligence Center report, a witch hunt. We have taken it as real. And the president has made a statement. These cases must be investigated. That's what it means. It is from the same report that you are giving us, that probably it is the same report, hopefully, that ministers are being investigated. So there is investigation going on. Let us not just continue to follow even social media. Sometimes we get misled. Madam, misled. Honorable is reading a lot, but sometimes just slow down on what we read. Do you remember, Honorable, that we had the six school children? Because last week it was abduction. Abduction. Now we bring 6 children have been abducted and we don't know where they are. You know, that is dangerous. These are the same cases that are being spoken about every time. It doesn't mean that there is a new case of corruption every day, as the Honorable would want people to believe. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, just stop the clock. As we ask these questions, remember we should be factual, and the information we are stating should be verifiable. I'm still waiting for the Honorable Member for Nakonde to deliver the evidence. Yes, so Honorable Member, please do deliver that to my chambers so that we can render a necessary ruling after that. Order. Order, Honorable Members. There are distinguished people in this chamber, and Honorable Members must behave in an honorable manner. In the meantime, time is running. The Honorable Member for Bwacha.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. Madam Vice President, good morning. Madam Speaker, the Civil Service Code of Conduct is very clear. When a civil servant is being investigated, they are requested to step aside. I believe, Madam Speaker, the same principle, Madam Vice President, should apply if at all there are ministers who are being investigated. And I recall, Madam Vice President, in the opposition, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia now was very, very clear that during my reign...
Honorable Member, if you can go to the question, because we have so many Honorable Members who would want to ask.
clear. Aside. That aside, Madam Speaker. Madam Vice President, how safe is the mayor being donated to Madam Speaker, how safe is the maize being donated to Zambia for our people's consumption? That is the fears out there that there are genetic organisms. Are we subjecting the same maize, Madam Vice President, to tests so that we are very, very sure that the maize we give to our GMOs?
Thank you, but really getting confused. Somebody started from the good morning, Honorable. I am trying to choose because I think, Madam, that both may need to be responded to.
If you can respond to all of them, it's okay.
Thank you,
Since the honorable member has raised some dust.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that dust must be settled. Really, when you talk of the code of conduct of civil servants and being put on suspension when they are under investigation, remember, just like ministers, the cases would not go for suspension if the call is from another organization, DEC or something else, because that is away from their duty. And therefore, the issues under investigation for the ministers, we don't even know whether they issue from my performance of my duty in the office, or it's something that happened elsewhere. I think you do understand the difference here. In the performance of one's duty, if one is an accountant and there is suspicion that here money is going and it's his signature, what do? Let him go so that the investigation can be concluded properly. But I must remind the people that we have gone through this. One of Zambia for all of us, where the former president actually said, even when they have been taken to court, I will not suspend them.
Yeah.
My president has not said that. Hopefully that when one of us is taken to court, he will be on suspension. Because that's the law now. But I hope you do understand. The code of conduct for public or civil servants is different because it is things that are committed within, the performance of their duty. That is why, because they will interfere. That is why I'm telling you, you wanted to name people so that they can cover their tracks. You don't do that. And then the maize. Let us appreciate people that are giving us food. Honorables. Let us. We have been trivializing. Yes. People that have donated to us, and we are questioning them. Really. I think, ministers, if we had the big stomachs, we could just eat this alone. Because I'm sorry to say this, Honorable Agriculture, that one, they know we don't want GMO. So they take care and they give us non-GMO. But I will still say, everybody, yesterday I was receiving or launching a program under WFP. It's non-GMO. GMO. They know our position. So let us not politicize or, create things that are not there. But for me, if I eat GMO will not grow on me. It is good food. But we cannot allow the seed to go into. I think that is the real challenge. That is what we tell colleagues. We can't bring GMO here. Just in case some of our people can pick a few and plant, and then there is contamination. And they are aware of that because we admit our capacity. And therefore, Honorable, you can be rest assured that what we are getting through you, it's you who asked, so it is you. Let us just assure the Zambian people that our friends, our neighbors understand who we are, the capacities we have, what we can handle, and they are giving us non-GMO maize. Thank you, Madam.
You can stop the clock. I suspend business until the President of the Republic of Burundi arrives. Honorable members are requested to remain in their seats. The Vice President's question time will resume after the President's address.
Parliament, the visiting head of state who's address Parliament, and this is Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi. So I'll be just sharing with you some of the achievements and some of the bilateral relations that are between Zambia and Burundi. And also it's worth mentioning, Matimba, going by the announcement that Madam Speaker has just made, that Her Honor the Vice President's question time will resume after the address by the visiting head of state. At the moment, business was suspended. The House was considering Her Honor the Vice President's question time.
Yes, President, and also just to make mention that Her Honor the Vice President moved the motion yesterday that Standing Orders 26-1 and 55 of the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders 2024 be suspended to enable His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, to deliver a special address to the House on Friday, 2nd August 2024.
So at exactly 10 hours going by what Honor the Vice President announced earlier in the day, the Burundian President, Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, is expected to address Parliament at 10 hours. And let's just briefly look at who this head of state who's visiting the country is. And he was born on June 17th, 1968 in Giheta, a small town in the Giheta province of Burundi. He grew up in a rural area and was raised by his parents who were farmers. Ndayishimiye attended local school and later studied economics at the University of Burundi.
Yes, President, Ndayishimiye is also married and has several children. He's known for his humble and reserved personality. He has been described as a loyalist to Pierre Nkurunziza and has maintained many of his predecessors' policies. Yes,
and the President of Burundi had a varied professional. Just to share with you some of his career spanning several fields. In 1990 to 1995, he was a teacher, taught economics and history at the secondary school in Giheta province. He was also a civil servant from 1995 to 2000. He worked in the Ministry of Finance and Planning as an economist, and joined the National Council for the Defense of Democracy, Forces for the Defenses of Democracy, and which was led by Pierre Nkurunziza. He rose through the ranks and became a senior officer, and he became a Minister of Interior and Public Security from 2006 to 2007 after the Civil War, and Ndayishimiye was appointed Minister of Interior and Public Security. He was also Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs from 2007 to 2006 to 2007. After the Civil War, he was appointed Minister of Interior and Public Security.
He also became a secretary. He also became the President of the National Assembly from 2016 to 2020. And he was Burundi.
So during the same election, the head of state, the visiting head of state, who is expected to address Parliament, won by 68.7% of the votes, succeeding Pierre Nkurunziza, who died in June 2020. He was inaugurated, like my colleague mentioned, on June 18th, 2020, and a very interesting and rich history of the visiting head of state. Continental Hotel right here in Lusaka City, where he component in achieving improvement. He did say that between the two countries and the international. He said that he's delighted for the invitation to grace this year's 9th the 96th Agriculture and Commercial Show right here in Lusaka City. Matimba.
Yes, President, and yesterday also the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, expressed concern over the underutilization of Lake Tanganyika as the water trade corridor connecting Zambia and Burundi. And also President Hakainde did say that it is important to link Lake Tanganyika to the Tanzara railway corridor to enhance trade and connectivity. He also said that there is need for improved land connections from the lake through Mpulungu, Seluka. And the President also said that this is a state house in his opening remarks before a closed-door bilateral meeting with Burundians. President agriculture, mining and other sectors. Zambia and Burundi have agreed to have embassies in each Zambia.
And the President further said that he hosted a stage banquet for visiting Burundi President Evariste Ndayishimiye in Lusaka, and he emphasized the need to enhance economic ties between Zambia and Burundi. He said that there is need to bring Burundi into the Luvito corridor, for instance, to strengthen economic ties. And President Ndayishimiye expressed gratitude to Zambia for having hosted a lot of Burundis during the country's political instability. He said Burundi is willing to learn from Zambia's experiences for the two countries to grow their economy. And you did talk about a very critical issue there, and the President highlighted the Lake Tanganyika, where the President said that the two countries are underutilizing the Lake Tanganyika Transport Corridor Development Project. Once this is enhanced, it will boost regional integration and significantly reduce trade costs between the two countries. Burundi, in fact, three countries, that's Burundi, Tanzania and Zambia. And this will link with central corridor roads, and railway will provide greater transport connectivity with other countries in the sub-region, such as Uganda and Rwanda. And the project, if it's implemented, will therefore unlock Lake Tanganyika's potential as an inland waterway and provide a platform that would link the northern Mombasa in Kenya, central Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, and southern Mpulungu in Zambia, and indeed Durban in South Africa road corridors.
And also the rehabilitation of Bujumbura Port will achieve the following key outcomes: reduce of import and export cost by of about 30%, improvement of service level and productivity by reducing port of calls time for vessels, and increasing the capacity of miners, and also development of economic opportunities and an entrepreneurial network along Bujumbura Port, and about 20% increase in cross-border trade with countries bordering the lake. The project has 5 components, and the main project objective is to improve the regional transport network so as to foster trade and contribute to the region's economic growth. Development of strengthen regional
chatting and interacting as they await the arrival of head of state from the Republic of Burundi. Did make the ministers and other members of the speakers, and have already taken a number of dignitaries from the Republic of Burundi, and those that have accompanied the head of state. So at exactly 10 we expect the visiting head of state to arrive at Parliament grounds, where expected to have an interaction with the speaker, and later on expect them to take a photo and sign in the visitor's book, and later on they will be led to the chamber by the sergeant at arms, and thereafter is expected to address the members of parliament.
Yes, President, and so just now we look at the political cooperation between the two countries. Zambia and Burundi have cooperated on regional and international issues, including peacekeeping missions in the Great Lakes region. They have also collaborated on issues like human rights, democracy, and good governance. And in line with the development cooperation, Zambia has provided technical assistance to Burundi in areas like agriculture, health, and education. Burundi has also benefited from Zambia's experience in areas like rural development and natural resource management. And also, we also look at the challenges between Zambia and Burundi. The two countries face common challenges like poverty, inequality, and climate change. They have also faced regional security threats, including instability in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and also for the recent developments. In 2020, Zambia and Burundi signed a memorandum of understanding on cooperation in areas like trade, investment, and tourism. The two countries have also strengthened their cooperation in regional organizations like the African Union.
Yeah, let's also move on and look at some historical relation or context. Zambia supported Burundi's struggle for independence and was one of the first countries to recognize Burundi's sovereignty. And during the Cold War, both countries maintained good relations, with Zambia providing support to Burundi's socialist government. And from the historical connection that we have between Burundi and Zambia, there are also some interesting economic ties. We know that Zambia and Burundi have been interacting on the market in terms of trade between these two countries. Although it's limited, but Zambia do export goods like maize, sugar and tobacco. Burundi export goods like coffee, tea, and cotton. And earlier on, during her honor, the Vice President's question time, they did talk about the maize, one of the questions that came through. And there you have it. Those are live pictures showing the arrival of the President of Burundi. as you can see in the picture there, led by the Sergeant at Arms and Madam Speaker. They are just chatting with the head of state from Burundi, just heading to the Speaker's chamber, where is expected to sign in the visitors book. So thus His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, and very, very interesting economic ties that we're talking about. And yesterday we did talk about what transpired at the international airport right here in Lusaka at KK International Airport, and proceeded to State House, and later on there was a banquet. And I was talking about some of the economic ties, Matimba. I did talk about the two countries, although a part of a regional economic organization like COMESA, which is the common market for Eastern and Southern Africa, and SADC, Southern Africa Development. These countries do interact at various platforms. And I also talked about the trade that is between Burundi and Zambia. Although it's limited, Zambia do export goods like maize, sugar and tobacco, while Burundi export coffee, tea and cotton to the Republic of Zambia.
Yes, President, and on June 15th, 2024, Zambia and Burundi strengthened the bilateral ties at a joint commission meeting, and the 5th session of the Zambia-Burundi Joint Permanent Commission, JPC, of cooperation concluded on 14th in Lusaka, marking a significant step forward in bilateral relations between the two African nations, co-chaired by Honorable Mulambo Haimbe, State Council MP, Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of Zambia, and His Excellency Ambassador Albert Shigiro, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Development Cooperation of Burundi. The 3-day summit focused on enhancing cooperation across multiple sectors crucial to both countries' development, and the key agreements were signed during the session, including a comprehensive general cooperation agreement, memoranda of understanding on diplomatic and political consultations, gender and women empowerment and cooperation between Zambia Development Agency and the Burundi Agency of Development.
All right, so there you have it, live pictures coming your way from the National Assembly of Zambia. I'd like to acknowledge people that are following us on our social media platform. I'd like to say thank you so much for being part and parcel of today's live parliamentary proceedings, where His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, is expected to address Parliament, and he has arrived already here at Parliament grounds and just been led to the Speaker's chamber, where he's expected to just have a brief interaction with the Right Honorable Madam Speaker here, and they will take a group photo and sign in the Speaker's in the visitors book. Later on, he will be led to the chamber to address members of Parliament. And after he has addressed Parliament, we expect Her Honor the Vice President to move a motion, thanks His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, as a special address that this House placed on record. It's thanks to His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, on the occasion of his special address to the House. And he will address Parliament in French, but Parliament has put in place measures where we do have interpreters, and the gadgets have been placed next to the Bosch equipment where members of Parliament are seated, and there will be interpretation in English. So members of Parliament will be able to follow the address by the visiting head of state.
Yes, President, and in case you just tuned into Parliament television, we have to make mention that Her Honor the Vice President yesterday did move a motion that Standing Orders 26.1 and 55 of the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders 2024 be suspended to enable His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, to deliver a special address to the House on Friday, 2nd August 2024. And so this is to allow the special address to the House by His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi. And so Madam Speaker has suspended business so that to allow this special address to the House by His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi.
Not too long ago, we heard the Mozambican president addressing Parliament, and quite a number of issues were raised in his address. And issue that came really out strongly in his address was that country is exporting electricity to Zambia. Looking at the issues that the country is grappling with, the issue to do with that state. And head of government, and there are currently 21 registered parties in Burundi. Party competition, and 6 years later, on 6th June 1998, the constitution was changed, and broadening National Assembly seat and making provisions for 2 vice presidents. Because of the Arusha Accord, Burundi enacted a transition of government in 2000, and the Burundi's legislative branch is a bicameral assembly consisting of the Transitional National Assembly and the Transitional Senate. As of 2004, the Transitional National Assembly consisted of 170 members, with the Front of Democracy in Burundi holding 38% of seats, and 10% of the assembly controlled by the APRANA. 52 seats were controlled by other parties. So Burundi's constitution mandates representation in the Transitional National Assembly to be consisted with 60% Hutu, 40% Tutsi, and 30% female members, as well as the 3 Batwa members of the National Assembly are elected by popular vote and serve 5-year terms.
Yes, President, and also to make mention that when Zambia and Burundi strengthened bilateral ties at a joint commission meeting on June 15th, 2024, a pivotal agreement on for holders of diplomatic passports was reached, aimed at facilitating easier travel between the 2 nations, and the importance of implementing the agreed upon initiative to realize their full potential. We expect that these decisions between Zambia and emphasizing the shared values of democracy, freedom, human rights, and economic development that unites Zambia and Burundi.
So going by what Madam Speaker announced earlier in the day, we expect business to continue after the visiting head of state has addressed Parliament. We do have business on today's order paper before we revert to some of the highlights regarding Burundi and Zambia, and also some bit of information regarding the visiting head of state. We have 2 questions for oral answer that are expected to be considered on the floor of the House. That will be after the visiting head of state has addressed Parliament. So we have question 413, which will come from Mrs. Chinyama, who is a Kafue Member of Parliament. But before that, we'll have a continuation or resumption of the consideration of Her Honor the Vice President's question time. We do have a few more minutes remaining, and we did see quite a number of members of Parliament indicating wanting to ask questions without notice to Her Honor the Vice President. So Matimba, question 413 will come from Mrs. Chinyama, Kafue Member of Parliament, directing this question to the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. Maybe the details of that question.
Yes, President. She wants to find out in part A of the question why the land agency for Kafue Town Council was revoked, and in part B when the land agency will be reinstated.
We also have Mr. Darius Mulunda, who's Yavunga Member of Parliament. He is the chairperson of the Committee on Local Government Accounts. moving a motion urging the House to adopt the report of the Committee on Local Government Accounts on the report of the Auditor General on the accounts of local authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2022 for the third session of the 13th National Assembly. This document was laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 1st August 2024, and this motion will be seconded by Ms. Kampamba Mulenga Kalulushi, Member of Parliament.
Another question number 414 is expected to come from Shiwangandu Member of Parliament, Mr. Stephen Kampyongo, and he's directing his question to the Minister of Health. He wants to find out whether the medicines that were intercepted by the police in the Copperbelt province en route to the Democratic Republic of Congo, as reported in the News Diggers newspaper of 31st July 2024, belong to the government.
There you have it. Those are live pictures. It seems like we about to have the visiting head of state, His Excellency Ms. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, to address Parliament.
His Excellency the President of the Republic of Burundi and Madam Speaker.
Honorable, Your Excellency the President, honorable members, we may take our seats. Honorable members, the House would like to welcome to the Assembly the President of the Republic of Burundi, His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye. We are honored, Your Excellency, to have you in our midst. In our midst, Your Excellency, before you address us, is Her Honor the Vice President of the Republic of Zambia, Honorable W.K. Mutalena Rumango, who is also leader of government business in the House. Also present among us is honorable ministers and leaders of the opposition in the House. May I now invite Your Excellency to deliver your address.
Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly and Senate of the Republic of Zambia, a brotherly country and a friend of Burundi, honorable members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, senior state officials, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Good morning. Let me first of all express in front of you, honorable, esteemed representative of the people, my deep gratitude to His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, the President of the Republic of Zambia, to the people and the government of Zambia for the warm welcome and the hospitality accorded to myself and my delegation since our arrival in this historic and splendid city of Lusaka. I am particularly honored to address this august and prestigious institution,
the Parliament of the Republic of Zambia. Through you, I would like to convey the most sincere greetings of the people of Burundi to the brotherly people of Zambia, with whom we share the values of peace, solidarity, and democracy, and to whom we are naturally linked by culture and geography, in particular the Lake Tanganyika. My address to this Parliament gives me an excellent opportunity to underline the importance of diplomacy and interparliamentary cooperation. As you know, parliamentary cooperation strengthens people-to-people ties in our two countries. The time has come when Burundians feel at home in Zambia and the Zambians feel at home in Burundi under the protection of our two parliaments acting on behalf of our people. This state visit is indeed an eloquent testimony of the excellent bilateral relations and cooperation between our two respective countries. I would like to salute our shared determination to strengthen and further diversity them in several areas of common interest for the benefit of our brother peoples. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, as iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens the face in his neighbors. So it is said. In the same way, I came into contact with the Zambian people with the confidence that the meeting between our two peoples will always be a fruitful experience for both us. Before sharing with you the situation prevailing in my country, allow me to highlight, appreciate the bravery of the people you represent and to congratulate you on your effort for development of your beautiful country, whose precious motto is One Zambia, One Nation, which inspires the rest of the African continent. I salute the memory of the sons and daughters of this nation who sacrificed themselves for the independence, unity, and the development of your beautiful country, particularly His Excellency, former President Kenneth Kaunda. I was still young when he came to visit Burundi in the 1980s, and I remember the effort he made to remind the Burundian leaders of then the importance of unity. To welcome him, we were told to repeat, one Burundi, one nation, one people, one leader, is himself Otto Charles. Today, Burundi is a stable, calm, and definitely reconciliated country. Democracy value, including separation of executive, legislative, and judicial power, freedom of expression, and human rights are already in the behavior of Burundians, and we are happy to know that we share those values with the people of Zambia. However, that no development is possible outside the logical framework of good governance. Each other must ensure good management of public finance for benefit of the people and provide justice for all. This is why the government of Burundi is determined
to fight corruption in all its forms and manifestations. In the same objective, Parliament play a great role as a symbol of democracy. Yes, the management power belongs to the people, those we serve, those you represent. It is imperative to capitalize these achievements so on socio-economic development. Indeed, Burundi, like Zambia, are endowed with abundant human and natural resources which should contribute to reach our developmental goals and to free ourselves from the shackle of poverty, disease, and joblessness and inequality. In order to achieve this, we must engage more effectively and continue to embark on cooperation projects in the field of agriculture, mining, services, defense and security, economy and finance, trade, transport and investment, as well as social and humanitarian affairs. In this regard, the signing of numerous agreements and MOUs during this state visit, in addition to those signed during the session of the Joint Permanent Commission for Cooperation last June, opens new doors to strengthen and diversify our tie of cooperation and friendship in various sectors such as trade, women empowerment, transport, agriculture, capacity building, and benchmarking. In order to guarantee the achievement of our objectives, it is important that we both intensify our effort to promote trade in order to take advantage of the vast business opportunities. We are called to raise awareness, encourage and help economic operators to undertake promotional commercial activities in order to participate in national and international exhibitions organized by both parties by promotion of trade and investment, but also by improve existing infrastructure and or creating new infrastructure to facilitate trade in and encouraging the elimination of non-tariff barriers in accordance with the trade facilitation agreement. I would like, in this same line, to take this opportunity to invite Zambian businessmen within the framework of trade and investment promotion to come and invest in Burundi in different sectors, since Burundi is still virgin in business opportunities. Indeed, the government has decided to align economic operators and investors on the same front by strengthening the public-private partnership PPP system. Right, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members of Parliament. In terms of peace and security, my country remains naturally concerned about situation of insecurity in the region, such as the situation in the east of DRC, with the resurgence of negative forces, including M23. In the current context, Burundi plays a role that is due to him in the community of nations through its place in regional and international organizations in order to promote peace and development in the region and in the world. Burundi highly appreciates the contribution of the Republic of Zambia to bringing back peace and security to DRC through SADC efforts. As neighbors of DRC, Burundi and Zambia have a paramount role to play as insecurity in DRC negatively impact both Burundi and Zambia on different levels: refugees flows, illegal arms trafficking, transboundary crime, terrorism, etc. Burundi is committed to bring its own contribution to the peace and security and stability in the eastern part of DRC and the region. That is why everything possible will be done in coordination of all stakeholders. In the line of putting effort together as a region, Burundi intends to join the SADC, of which it is already a geographical member. You know that we are between the two big country members of SADC, DRC and Tanzania, and also we share the Lake Tanganyika with the three countries which is full members of SADC. So Burundi geographically is a member of SADC, and also to bring back peace in the DRC, we are working hard together with SADC. So we are joined naturally and humanitarian. Right, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Member of Parliament, in relation to the regional and the continental situation, I would like to emphasize that good neighboring constitutes one of the main points of our Burundian foreign policy. At the same time, my country attaches great importance to integrating projects in a priority area of common interest, in a particular initiative within the framework of the Lake Tanganyika Authority, the objective and the program of common regional organizations such as ICGLR and COMESA. On this point, let me take this opportunity to congratulate Zambia for the successful chairmanship in COMESA. In my capacity as incoming chairman, I will be very proud to continue the good work you are doing. Honorable members of Parliament, before I conclude, allow me to share with you my thought on Africa's need to develop. While welcoming the human wealth and natural resources as well as the available potential to our continent, we nevertheless need real unity, one Africa, one nation. As you know, the quest for the unity of the continent is not easy. It is a long-term fight that we are called upon to win to definitely bring Africa out of humiliation. It is true that the artificial borders imposed on us by the Bell Conference hide the unity of Africa and make certain colonizing powers still consider some of our states as their private hunting ground through during interference in the internal affairs of our state and in the management of the African Union. We must immediately put an end to those political and diplomatic interference and instead leaves our doors wide open to talk about business, investments, technology exchange through mutual advantages and respectful strategic partnership. We also really need the political and economic independence in the continent. To this end, we may cry out against interference from external actors, but from the moment we are not able to take charge of the a social need of our common organization, the African Union, there's interference will be inevitable. With more than 70% of external funding, if we are not careful, our organization will become the subcontractor of big contributors and consequently receiving orders from elsewhere to the great displeasure of the member state and our respective population, as one said, who pays controls. Honorable representative of people, I would like to end my speech by thanking once again the Zambia people for the warm welcome and the attention that has been extended to me and my delegation since our arrival in this beautiful country. As a neighbor, we have learned that the Republic of Zambia has recently experienced a drought that has significantly reduced agricultural production in some areas. As a gesture of solidarity and in the spirit of Ubuntu values, the government and the people of Burundi have decided to donate 5,000 tons of maize, rice, and beans. Although this modest, this is a donation that comes from the bottom of our hearts in solidarity with the Zambian people. I thank you and encourage you to build deeper relations with the Parliament of the Republic of Burundi, with which you share a noble mission to the benefit of our brotherly peoples. Long life friendship and solidarity between peoples. Long life Burundi-Zambia cooperation, solidarity and fraternity. May God bless Zambia and Burundi. Thank you so much. Zikomo kwa mbili, murakoze cyane.
Chamuha iyo discours.
That has been delivered by the Burundi. There are quite a number. Towards the end of his address, talked about Burundi showing Ubuntu and what the country is going through in terms of the drought that the country experienced. The president of Burundi has pledged to donate 5,000 tons of maize, rice and beans to the Republic of This also in hand. And Zambia of various countries, Malawi, Botswana, Zimbabwe, when those countries face with a lot of difficulties in terms of the climatic changes in that country, and those countries face some challenges.
Yes, President, and the president of Burundi also did say that this state visit is part of strengthening trade and investment between the two countries, and he did also say that the state visit is also aimed at enhancing mutual commitments and exploring of cooperation.
I will be able of the key points that were raised by the visiting head of state, and at this particular time, just shaking hands with opposition, with members of parliament from the left, and just shaking hands with Watcha, member of parliament. It started with the members of parliament from at this particular time, just having a chit chat. And indeed, Mansa, Central Member of Parliament, and waving at the backbenchers there, Matimba. It's been a very interesting day looking at the relationship that has existed between the two countries, and talked about as far back in the early 80s when the first Republican president visited Burundi and coined the one Burundi, one nation and one people. Very interesting, and we still have that slogan that KK left, the one Zambia, one nation.
So in pictures, those are live, but pictures are coming your way that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Burundi, accompanied by the Honorable Madam Speaker, leaving the chamber. Those are just pictures that are coming our way. And any time from now, we'll be seeing a resumption of business. At the time business was suspended, the House was considering how honor the Vice President's question time.
Yes, so Madam Speaker has gotten back to the chamber. As you can see on your screens, that's the visiting head of state being seen off by the second Deputy Speaker. Business now resumes.
So order, we resume our business. We continue with Her Honor the Vice President's question time. The Honorable Member for Lufubu.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Her Honor the Vice President, we've seen the politics. There are rumors amend the Constitution to remove 50+1 and to extend the term of office from 5 to 7 years. Would you, Her Honor the Vice President, if that is, thank you, Madam Speaker.
Her Honor the Vice President.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I would like to thank the Honorable Member for Lufobo for that very important question. I call it important because it gives us an opportunity to once again state our position, the position of this government in this august House, so that issues of this nature can be put to rest. This government has no intention, no plan. It is not in our discussion to say that we want to change the status quo on these matters in the in our plan. To extend the 5 to 7, that is not there. Honorable Member, it is unfortunate that, like you have stated, it is being peddled. But let me state this, colleagues, that I think social media is full of many things. But the sad part is when leaders can join in the peddling. That is when social media is full of things and we can be misled. But a leader, for example, a former leader, a former president also made a statement to this effect. That this government, colleagues, let us face it, it was indeed, as I wished I knew that question would come, because, madam, it was headline. But I'm answering the question, so that was put in, I think it was in Diggers. It was. Colleagues, the office of the former president is too important for such peddling. It should not be. We should, the Zambians decided on the 50% plus 1. And all the Constitution Review Commission's recommendations that we have seen, no one has recommended 7 years. So where are we getting these things from? Is that the way, Honorable Member, for where this one? For Sinda. Where is this coming from? Mayor politics? That is not correct. We are all Zambians. We have to keep Zambia stable. The review, or indeed the amendment to the Constitution, is something that everybody has agreed on. That the 2016 Constitution has many lacunas, as the lawyers would say, has many gaps that we need to clean up. And this government has said we will go through it, not necessarily going the commission way, because there are many recommendations already in the commissions that have been done, whether it's in Vunga, whether it is Mwanakatwe, whether it is Mungomba. Recommendations have been made. So what this stated, madam, on the issue of constitution amendment is that we will go that way, except there are many issues where consensus can be built. Non-contentious issues. And I think even the opposition in this house, madam, have had the opportunity to draw out non-contentious issues that we all need to look at. Some of them, including by-elections, do we want to continue in the manner? It's up to us. Do we want to continue in the manner that by-elections would be able to find another electoral system that does not, gobble so much of national resource just to do by-elections? It's up to us. This is the thinking from our side. In the electoral processes, in the electoral system, to reduce on that. If we all agree, and we will not bring things without you agreeing, we don't need a dialogue. What was that? The dialogue where there were even threats of arrest. No! We need consensus here. The issue that members of parliament, for example, should go back to the councils, is that something we can quarrel about? Let us all work on such issues. There are many issues that we can all agree on. Instead of wasting time trying to politic on what this government is not planning. Is that overwhelming? Are Zambians saying that? If it is a proposal, for example, from the former president, let him say, I am proposing. Yeah. Because it is not in our camp. It is not there. If it's a proposal, let us get the rationale. If it is a proposal to go 7 years, let us get the rationale. Otherwise, we have not seen it in any of the recommendations, because we have said we don't have to go the Commission way to start getting new things. Much work has been done. Colleagues, can this be put to rest? This government has no intention. In fact, there are so many lacunas, Madam Speaker, that the President can use in the Constitution to stay longer. But we don't want that. Those are the things you should be closing up to ensure we have a law that leaves sanity in our country, predictable systems, and where everybody is free to participate. No 50% plus one to be abolished, no way. I think the former president, I don't know how we can excuse him. I am saying we are people with forgiving hearts. We forgive. But if it's a proposal, let him propose. Zambians will debate it, not us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Dudumwezi.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. Your Honor, the Vice President, the people of Zambia are very excited, especially those from Dundumwezi. And they've asked me a question to ask the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Local Government through your office. I sat here from 2011 to 2021. We only received the CDF 4 times. And the 5th time, Your Honor, was a half 700,000 kwacha. And from 2022, New Dawn government has continued increasing.
Honorable Member, if you can ask your question, we only have 6 minutes. We have so many people who have indicated. Please summarize.
Much obliged, Madam Speaker. Continued increasing, and we hear even next year the government intends to increase. And they are asking, have you interrogated or investigated why the previous regime failed to release this money, which is a constitutional matter? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honor the Vice President.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I would like to thank the Honorable Member for Dundumwezi, who gives a lot of background to the CDF story, which has grown from where it started. If I remember correctly, is there anybody here? It was actually about 300-400. Then it moved and moved until it got stuck at 1.6. But I guess that I believe the question the Honorable Member, Madam Speaker, is asking is, why did the government, the previous government of the PF, fail to release the full amount, since this is a constitutional matter? Yeah, very difficult to answer. But I'll tell you, it is a lot of physical indiscipline. Physical indiscipline. Colleagues, it's not easy to follow through the budget, but it is important. This government, I think you have seen, this government under President Hakainde Hichilema and our able minister has tried, even though the figures have grown. I remember here the first time it came in the budget 2022 that it will be 25 million point, was it straight 25? I could see, just like free education, honorable members, Madam Speaker, if you remember here, these are the two. Our colleagues on your left said, hey, you will not manage. When we said we'll give you free education, They started asking, Madam, in 2021, where is the free education? My child is going to school. You haven't paid. 2021. We had to stand here and say, colleagues, this is your budget. Because we were still executing the PF budget. When CDF was introduced, there was a lot of misgivings from the other side. Yeah, are you going to manage? Now, it is not only managing the 1.6 that was found, it is managing 30 plus. And now the president has said it will even increase. I think failure to do that is failure because this issue of CDF, Madam, was found under another regime. I think it is failure to appreciate the purpose, the rationale, and what it would do in the community. But now, everybody does appreciate, Madam, what CDF is doing. From central government, even as we are centralizing, devolving, we also need money right where it is needed. Any member of parliament here, that's why we are saying, surely in the constitution, why can't we go back to the councils? So that every member of parliament here, using the resources correctly, will go in and make promises from there. So we will continue to release this money. It is a great program for this government, and Zambia will develop to a point of equitability instead of money remaining with certain areas or in certain towns, but everywhere. Everybody can construct a school, a clinic, water, and so on. So the failure, sir, was lack of physical discipline. That is the reason they failed. Maybe they have another reason, but this is what I'm thinking about. And also failure to realize the goodness, the rationale for having CDF. They had other priorities that may not have helped the Zambian people as much. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chadiza.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Your Honor, the Vice President, today I'll ask you a very technical question, considering the fact that we have a senior engineer, fellow of the Engineering Institute of Zambia, right seated next to you, and I know you will provide solutions to this question. Your Honor, the Vice President, in engineering guidelines, you are not allowed to allow a road to curve both vertically and horizontally at the same time. Now, we have two sections on the Great East Road where such has been exhibited. And I've noticed as well that such also exists on the Chirundi Road, the Tumpurungu Road. Your Honor, the Vice President, I want to find out what your government's intentions, what are killing innocent people. Because when such has been exhibited, as engineers, we take it that there are design and construction errors. Now, I want to find out from you, Your Honor, the Vice President, as a government, do you have any plans to provide short-term or rather immediate solutions which would see to it that such design or construction errors stop killing innocent road users? Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Honor the Vice President.
Madam, thank you very much, and I would like to thank the Honorable Member for Chadiza. These are issues, Madam, even if he tries to...
let's listen to the answer.
Hey, listen to my answer. Even if he tries to explain it to me, I am lost. But this is the truth. Horizontal and vertical. What are you talking about? Madam. And he even said he can have answers. And he says horizontal and vertical are killing people. What are those horizontal and vertical? Indeed, it is a call. That is all I pick, madam. It's a call upon engineers that the work that they are doing must be credible work, must be acceptable to engineering. But to talk of horizontal in Imbala and the Great East, I can't see. Everything is flat to me. But the intention, or indeed the plan, must be there. If government, if you, the engineer, you have seen, and he must have seen, we must rectify those and must not be allowed. But I can't explain those things. Too technical. You even said that. Why are you asking me technical? Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Chadiza can engage another engineer, the Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Senior Engineer. Your Honor, you were not alone. Even me, I was confused. I didn't understand. So there is an indication. Oh, that concludes the Honor the Vice President's question time. There is an indication from the Honorable Minister of Information for a point of order. What's the point of order, Honorable Minister?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And as you know, I only rise on points of order when the situation is extremely compelling and necessary. Madam Speaker, my point of order is premised on the precedents, the practices, traditions, and customs of this House as it obtains in the Commonwealth. Madam Speaker, it is well known that when a president of the Republic of Zambia, and by extension another head of state, is addressing this august House, it is a very important occasion. And usually, your office does remind the members of Parliament of the solemnity of the occasion by even putting it in writing. So those are our rules and practices that have guided this occasion of a president addressing this House, so that the sanctity and decorum of this House is maintained by no other than our own selves, because we govern the conduct of ourselves. Madam Speaker, during the address by the President of Burundi, Madam Speaker, I got concerned that some members of Parliament kept on passing running commentaries, especially after the President of Burundi announced the donation they are giving to Zambia over this drought situation that we are faced with as a country and as a region. Madam Speaker, I found that behavior so abhorrent that I am now compelled to ask this House whether those members of Parliament were in order to continue to pass comments in a manner that disrupted the solemnity of the address, whether they were in order that as the head of state was exiting, they sprang up to start singing in this House. Madam Speaker, I'm raising this point of order being mindful that the occasion of the President addressing this House is a very important and solemn one, to the extent that somewhere around 2012, when members of parliament of the UPND absconded the presidential address, they were punished 30 days suspension. And only recently, when His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema came to address the House, the Member of Parliament for Mambilima passed certain comments that were taken by this House to have been unparliamentary. And she was equally punished. Madam Speaker, where the honorable members of Parliament of the opposition, led by Honorable Member of Parliament from Kana, Binwe Mpundu, and closely assisted by the Member of Parliament for Chinsari, Honorable Mkosa, and others to whom the Hansard can be able to show because their conduct is on record. And may I add, Madam Speaker, that this is in violation of Standing Order 117. And that as a long-serving Member of Parliament of this House, who has been suspended for the same offense, but now who stands ready at all times to guard the decorum of this House, that, Madam Speaker, this unbecoming behavior of turning this House into a political playground is escalating. Madam Speaker, were these members of Parliament in order to violate our own rules and bring shame to this House, locally and internationally, given that we are being addressed by a foreign head of state? I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker.
Order, honorable members. I always say, please, let's maintain dignity and decorum on the floor of the House. Especially when a foreign dignitary at the level of the president is visiting us. We have to exhibit the highest order and decorum in the House. Because of the issues that has been raised by the Honorable Minister of Information, and I had left the House at the time that the alleged singing was done, I will need to review the footage, video footage, and then I will reserve my ruling. We will deliver the ruling when we resume business in September. But please, honorable members, can we control ourselves? We are honorable members. Our actions also should be honorable. So this idea of debating, even when I'm seated here, the honorable member for Nakonde continues to engage me from that distance. What type of dignity are we maintaining on the floor of the House? Okay, so we have, you have the honorable member for Nakonde. What's the issue now?
Madam Speaker, it was just a concern because the minister has debated
the honorable members, there is no procedure that
there is
no practice.
Madam Speaker,
Order.
When somebody...
Order, honorable member. Order. You are not allowed to engage in a debate at this time or even to respond. There is no procedure, even no standing order allows you to do that. There is an indication from the honorable member for Chama South for a point of order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I will refer to our Standing Orders 71. I know we are supposed to raise points of order contemporaneously, but during the Honor the Vice President question time, we are not allowed to raise points of order. My point of order is the Honorable Member for Dundu Mwenze. During our Honor the Vice President question time, he asked and gave information that in the recent past,
or during the term of the Patriotic Front, he had received CDF 4 times. When I was here, Madam Speaker, I was here as a member of Parliament, and I'm telling my people that we only received CDF twice, and not 4 times. The first CDF we had received was 700,000 kwacha, and we were told that it was a carryover from the past. Then thereafter, we received the 1.6 million in installments. 500. This is the information that I'm telling the people of Chama South. Is he in order to mislead this House, himself and the people there, that we received CDF 4 times when we had received CDF twice? And in installments. I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker.
Order. I don't know whether the Honorable Member for Ndudumwezi was thinking about now or thinking about the past in terms of... But what has happened in the past, Honorable Members, we can only make good by doing good things in the future. So whatever injustice you suffered, Honorable Members, please don't worry. Justice will be done in due course. Right now, Honorable Members are getting equal CDF. So, and also the FISIP, you are getting, is it 6 bags? And so that is in the past. Let's be forward looking. We are supposed to be going for break now, but there are so many points of orders. I'm sure the Honorable Members want to go and stretch themselves, so we can leave this. I will suspend business for 20 minutes for a health break.
Well, thank you so much for being with us on Parliament's television. Business has been suspended for 20 minutes for that health break, and at the time business was suspended, the House has just finished considering her Honour the Vice President's question time, and the Minister of Information and Media, Honourable Cornelius Mwetu, just rose on a point of order, and Madam Speaker has reserved that ruling. Let's quickly look at what has been considered on the floor of the House when business resumed at 09 hours. And earlier on, Matimba, we had the address by His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi.
Yes, and so far that's business that has been considered on the floor of the House. Still to come on the order paper, we have 2 questions for oral answer under Standing Order 82 and 2 committee reports. We also have the Kazungula Bridge Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 12 of 2024, which is coming at committee stage.
We do have 3 reports that are yet to be considered on the floor of the House. The first one will come from Mr. Darius Mulunda, who is Yavonga Member of Parliament. He is the chairperson of the Committee on Local Government Accounts, urging the House to adopt the report of the Committee on Local Government Accounts on the report of the Auditor General on the accounts of local authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2022. For the 3rd session of the 13th National Assembly, the document was laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 1st August 2024. And this report is expected to be seconded by Ms. Kampamba Mulenga, who is Kalulushi Member of Parliament.
Another report is expected to be moved by Sasheke Member of Parliament, Mr. Romeo Kangumbe, urging the House to adopt the report of the Committee on Energy, Water Development and Tourism on the special audit report of the Auditor General on the procurement and management of petroleum products from 1st January 2019 to 31st December 2022 for the 3rd session of the 13th National Assembly, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 1st August 2024.
The visiting head of state has delivered his address, and Her Honor the Vice President is expected to move the motion. Thanks His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye's special address that this House place on record its thanks to His Excellency Mr. Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, on the occasion of his special address to the House. So basically that's the business that has been considered on the floor of the House and yet to be considered on the floor of the House today. For now, we'll take a short break and we'll come back and we'll let you in on what other business is expected to be considered. Keep watching Parliament Television.
Honorable Engineer Rafa Mabenga, Member of Parliament for Mwabezi. I'm 68 old